Hello, my friends. Today I'm so excited. I will be reviewing the Longer B13 watts laser engraver. Now, for those of you guys that have been following me for a while, you know I already have the Longer 10 watts and I reviewed that one. And Longer was nice enough to send me this for review, so that's what we'll be doing today. I'm not going to go over the unboxing. It goes together really easily, just like any other laser, nothing, too crazy. But I want to go over just a couple of specs and then I'll show you the things you can do with it. And we'll also do a project. I'll show you more of that in a second. Now I'm only going to go over a couple of specs on this laser and let's see. The price, well, there is no better laser that is 30-watt laser from a reputable brand under $1,000. This one right now, it's on sale for $979, so it's under $1,000, 30-watt power laser. If you do decide to purchase this laser, please use the link in the description below. It's an affiliate link. That means to no extra cost to you. I will earn a small commission, and that would, help the channel a lot. Now, I looked at other brands that are the competitors, the top brands, and X-Tool, they have a 20 watt for $994. So that's a 20 watt. This for less money, you get a 30 watt machine. So when it comes to X-Tool, I think Longer has better pricing. Also, Creality has a 20 watt for $1,200. So that's way more expensive than this 30 watt laser. So I think the price is phenomenal. 30 watts power for under $1,000. Now I want to show you a couple of things that you can do with the laser engraver. And a lot of this stuff you probably have seen all over the place, but if you're new to lasering, I wanted to show you. And then the biggest question for me is, can you do fine woodworking with the laser engraver? And I will show you in this video as I review this laser. We will actually do a project and I'm going to show you how to make this box. Now this box, there's nothing here that tells us it's made with a laser. It has beautiful box joints. You see how accurate they're cut. So I cut those box joints with the laser and I'm going to show you exactly how to design this box and how to put it together. This is the lid over here. As you can see, it doesn't look like it was cut with the laser at all. And also we'll do this inlay of this lizard. I also did this with the laser and it's so easy. I am going to show you how to do this. So this is the box we'll be making in today's video. Again, this is it. And but I want to show you other things that you can do with the laser. So what are the things you can do? Most likely, if you looked into lasers before, you've seen something like this. One of these intricate cut boxes that you just cut and snap together. And this is kind of the typical thing you think of lasers. This will make a cute night light if you put a tea candle inside. Of course, has to be fake. I would not put real fire in here. There's another cute box that I made here with the laser. I used the Longer 10 watts for this. You can see you can cut intricate shapes with it. And the cool thing about this box, it's, well, first of all, it looks like a book. But the spine of the book, it's made with this flexible hinge. So you can cut this with a laser. It's just an intricate design like this. And this allows your wood to move flexibly. Is that the word, move flexibly? Allows the wood to move. And then this is the box. And then it closes, it snaps in these little tabs over here. You see it has these tabs. It goes in here. I hope you can see this in camera. And there you go. We have a box in the shape of a book. What other things you can do with the laser? Well, of course, you can engrave. You can make keychains, luggage tags, and whatever. I did this, wooden just keychain. Just says Sawdust and Splinters. So let's see. Where is the camera over here? And you can see it's not straight, but it's very clean cut. Everything looks great. What other things can you do? You can, of course, engrave pictures. And I'm going to show you some examples. This is a picture of my daughter I engraved. The settings were not perfect on this one. So I think I could have done a better engraving for this. My contrast was a little bit too high, so I lost a lot of the details on the face. But I mean, you can engrave any image. This was just a JPEG. So I've done that. I'm going to show you a couple of more here, just to give you a better idea. This is an image I engraved with my 10-watt laser, and my settings were a little bit too high power, so it's a little bit too dark for my liking. Then I have this one with the ducks. This one was a little bit better settings. And what else? Then I tried some on cherry wood, and I have this bird engraving that I did. I thought that one ended up pretty cool. And then my favorite one was this owl. I love owls, so there's another one. Then you can also engrave, let's see. You can engrave business cards. I have this aluminum coated business card, and you can see very clean, nice engraving. Then you can engrave pictures. I put a kitty cat in here on this business card, and the settings were not right for this one. Then I changed the settings. Same image, got this one. I was not in love with that one either, and kind of gave up on that. You can engrave on stainless steel, and here I got a lot of tests done as well. For this one, I use 1500 speed at 80 power, and you can see my laser was too powerful. It almost went through it, and it bent my stainless steel card. So then I lowered the power and did another test, and this one was better. This one was 5000 speed, 60 power, and it worked, but it bent the card as well. So then I lowered it even more, and this is at 5000 speed at 35 power, and we can see the engraving. Now we're almost getting into the color engraving. It's not black anymore. The card still bent a little bit, so I think my power was too much. I should have just went with lower power and more passes. Then I did a little test card here, and you can see you can color engrave on stainless steel. I think the reflection is horrible in here, but I could pick up some yellows and blues, and I couldn't really get to see the reds. But anyway, I did some testing. So you can do stainless steel engraving. Then let's talk about inlays. I've tested some inlays over here. I inlay a star. So first I did the pocket. So this is I engraved a fill, and you can see this is deep pocket. For this I use 5000 speed at 60% power, and then I cut a star and I inlaid it in there. And I was practicing doing a star because I'm planning on doing a cutting board as the American flag, and I want to inlay the stars into the Union. So that's what I was practicing with the star. I think it ended up really good. You see, like really clean inlay. Speaking of inlays, I inlaid this butterfly onto this cutting board. I think the choice of wood for the inlay was completely wrong for this one. I should have used maple. This one you can barely see it, but you can see the inlay worked out pretty well, even with intricate details like that butterfly. Now here is another project that I did. I made this box over here, and remember that flexible hinge that we used for the book? Well, I used that for the box. So there's one piece of flexible hinge that goes on this side, one on this side, and then it snaps into this solid maple. This is hard maple and padauk, and I think the box ended up really, really cute. Another thing you can do with the laser, you can engrave on stones, on tiles, on mirrors, on acrylic, and so on. You can buy this kind of sets to make night lights. This thing has an LED light in here. I accidentally turned it on. You see, you can change colors. And then you can buy, this is the acrylic parts that goes into your night light. And you can engrave on this acrylic and create beautiful night lights that you can sell. I have not done acrylic yet. I bought this so I can do some testing, but I did engraved a mirror. This is going to be hard to show you on a camera, but this is a mirror, and the back of it, I engraved everything on the back of the mirror. The back of it was white. As you can see, it was painted white. So I engraved it from the back, and now light will allow to pass through this tree of life that I engraved. And I will show you, I went into a dark room, I went into my bathroom, And I put this tree of life on this stand, and I let the light kind of go through the design so you can see what it looks like. And my plan was not to do it as a night light. What I want to do is put this into a shadow box and have some LED lights inside the box. And then this tree of life will like light up at night through the shadow box. So that's another project I'm working on. But for you to be able to see this, I just put it on this stand and turned it on just so you kind of see what is happening with this mirror laser engraving. Now you can cut really intricate stuff with the laser engraver, like I did this little lizard over here. And this is the lizard that I took out from this maple piece when I put the Paduk lizard inside. So this is how I cut it, and we'll cut that one today as we're making one of these boxes. Now, when I made this box, I want you to know I designed it, and this is not my first one. I had to work a little bit on it. My first try that I did for this box was this one. And I did not like that the fingers of the finger joints were too wide, so it just didn't look right. So then I went back to the drawing board and I designed this one. And this one looked good, but it was too tall, so the proportions were not right. And then I designed it and I came up with this one. So I'm going to show exactly how to do this. Let's get to the computer and you will see how easy it is to make projects with the Longer laser engraver. Now, as a woodworker, I'm not so interested in doing engravings. That's just not really my thing. The reason why I wanted to have a powerful laser is because I wanted to be able to cut box joints like this, cut materials into small pieces, and also do intricate inlays. So that's what I'm going to show you today how to do. Also, making box joints with the laser on small projects, it is so much safer. Imagine the small pieces. If you have to do it at the table saw or on the router table, your fingers will be so close to the blade or the router bit, and that will make you really, really unsafe. Cutting it with the laser, it only took a couple of minutes, and they are perfect every time. I forgot to mention that with the Longer B13 watts, you can cut wood up to 25 millimeter in thickness and acrylic up to 50 millimeters. Now, I don't work with acrylic much, so I have not really tested. I can tell you, you can cut wood up to 25 millimeter. It does take a little bit of learning how to do it because you have to defocus the laser. That means you have to focus it on top of your material and then lower it up to, I think, between 2 and 10 millimeters, depends on what kind of material you're working with. And then that will cut through, and you have to do multiple passes. Now, I will show you a couple of examples. Like I cut this poplar. This is a 10 millimeter poplar, and I use 200 speed at 100% power, and it cut this with no problem. I use it on walnut. This one I did 500 speed at 80% power, 2 passes, and this is 6.2 millimeter walnut. This is hard maple, 8.8 millimeters, and I cut this one at 450 speed, 80 power, and I did 3 passes, and it cut really, really cleanly. Let's look at the build. The build, it's really, really sturdy. The frame, it's much stronger and much more stable than the 10-watt one. It was really easy to put together, pretty square right out of the box. What you'll find different here, you have your key to turn it on and off, lock it. If you have little children, then they don't accidentally come and turn on your laser. Also, the stop button, you have to twist it and push it down to unlock it. Another safety feature. Other than that, everything is kind of standard, just like any other laser. The laser module itself, compared with the 10-watt, the sides go down, the black metal goes down all the way, so that way you will not see the laser when you're on the side of the laser. So I like that a lot. I feel like it's a lot safer. In order for me to directly see the laser beam, I have to be right in front of the laser, and I feel like that's just, every laser should do that. It's so much safer. Another thing that is good about this laser that I love is that the fact that it comes with an air assist pump. The air assist pump is integrated into the machine, so you can control it from light burn. You can just turn on that toggle on and off, And that is super, super handy. The air pump works really, really well. It has a lot of power and it gives you such a clean cut. We'll see that very shortly. Let's see what else. The engraving surface is larger than the 10 watts. The 10 watts, if you remember, was 400 millimeter by 400 millimeter. Well, this one is, let's see, I put some notes in here, it's 450 millimeters by 440 millimeters, and that is roughly 17.7 by 17.3 inches. So that is fantastic. It can engrave over 1,000 material, just like all the other lasers there. You can engrave on wood, leather, acrylic, glass, stone, tiles, you name it, everything you could imagine, you can pretty much engrave it with one of these lasers. Now, when it comes to safety features, you know the drill. Never leave your laser unattended. Make sure you have a fire extinguisher nearby. It is a laser. It is very powerful. You do not want to start a fire. The longer laser does have a lot of integrated safety feature. So if it starts a fire and the laser detects a flame, it will stop. Also, if the table gets bumped and the laser moves, it will stop, and so on. But if you look at the longer laser instructions, it will tell you right here, even though it comes with a built-in flame sensor, this technology should not be considered 100% accurate and should be seen only as a warning system. So make sure you're not leaving your laser unattended. Keep your eye on it. You do not want to burn your house down. Also, make sure you wear your safety goggles and you do not want to burn your eyeballs out. So make sure you use those all the time when the laser is on. Now, designing a box joint box like the one I just showed you, it is really, really easy. There are many free programs out there that will help you do it. And that's what I wanted to show you. I want to show you how easy it is. There's no need to go into Etsy and paying $10 or whatever people might charge for file that you still have to modify to fit your material thickness. You can just do it yourself, and it's so, so easy. So how do I do that? Well, let's see. I am using, let me just record my screen so you can see exactly what I'm doing. So I'm using this website. It's called boxes.py, and this is a free website. You can go and check it out. It already has many, many patterns, all these boxes here and trays and so on. You can just click on it and download the pattern absolutely for free. Today we will use this box over here and we'll modify it to make our own shape for our thickness of the material. So let's go do that right now. So we'll start with the finger joints setup. We'll use angle 90 degrees, that is good. Our box is gonna be rectangular, just like that. Then let's see, space at start at the end, a multiple of normal spaces. It's set to 2 by default. I like to put mine at 1, so I'm gonna set on 1 for that one. Bottom lip, I do not need to work with that. Edge, I will leave it at 1. Extra length. Well, extra length is how much longer you want your fingers to protrude out of the box so you can sand it down. And for this one, I will set it to 0.1 so that when I can sand the black spots so it doesn't look like I cut it with the laser. And then let's see, fingers, I'll put 1.5 here. All right. Then the space, I'm gonna put 1.5. And then let's see, we'll go to the lid. I do not want a handle. You can choose a handle if you want. My lid is going to be flat and I'm going to leave that like this. And now for our box settings, I am going to make this, it works in millimeters, so you can have it on the outside measurements over here if you click it, or if you unclick it will be the inside measurements. For my box, I think I went with 150 millimeter width. And then the depth, I believe I went with 90 millimeters. And for the height, I think I went with 60. So just like that. Bottom edge, I want it to be straight. And then let's see, what else do we have in here? The thickness of the material, I'm gonna make it out of a 1/4 inch hardwood. It's gonna be maple and padauk. 1/4 inch is 6.35 millimeters. And then the format of the file, we want SVG. And here is the burn. By default it's set to 0.1, and I find this works really, really well. If you go a little bit higher, like I've tried 0.13, and the fingers were really, really too close together, and I had to hammer it in. So I like it. I'll leave it by default at 0.1. That seems to work well. So now if I go to generate, it's going to generate our box, and we can see a preview of what it looks like, see if we like it. So we have the lid top, lid bottom, and then this is our file with the box joint. It's looking great, so I'm gonna go back, and I'm just gonna go over here to download. And this file is going to go into my downloads, and then we can upload it into Lightburn and get to cutting it, see if it works. So now I'm going to go into my downloads. It should be right here on the bottom. And I am going to just drag it into my Lightburn, just like this. And let's see, first I'll cut the long pieces are going to be maple, and then the short pieces are going to be padauk. So I'm actually gonna erase everything else other than the long pieces. I'm gonna put this one side by side so they can be cut together. I'm gonna delete this thing over here too. And I'm going to put my safety glasses on, and I'll turn on the laser and we'll cut these pieces, see how it goes. Okay. So our pieces are cut. Now we have 2 of the maple pieces over here. You can see nice clean cut. So we have 2 of the long sides, and we have 2 of the short sides. Now let's see if they fit together like they should. So there we go. And remember, we made the tabs just a little bit longer so we can sand down that black spot. So I don't know if you can tell. I just let them just a little bit longer. But the joint comes in together really, really nicely, as you can see. I hope it focuses. So if we put together all 4 sides, we should end up with a rectangle box. Let's see. And just like that. Now you just have to glue it together, and then, you know, sand down the black parts. So now that we saw how that one is done, let's do the inlay. For the inlay, I will import a lizard image that I have. Let's see. So I go into my laser files, and I know I have it somewhere in here. There you go. And I think I did the very last one on the bottom, so I'm gonna delete the rest of them. And then for the size, I think I made it 4 inches on the longest side, just like that. I'm going to turn it around, and let's see, maybe I'll cut this one. I'll cut it kind of like in an angle so the grain of the wood will look a little bit more interesting. So maybe like that. So I'm going to cut this, and then I'm going to cut out of a piece of maple the hole for it, and then we'll see how that one will go together. Let's go do that. I think I forgot to press record when I cut the orange lizard. There it is, very clean cut with a lot of detail. Look at these tiny little toes. Very, very nice cut. And then also we cut the maple side. And this is the lizard from the maple. This is going to be part of the lid. So let's see, so far, where is my box? So far, our box looks like this. I did not glue it. This is just like we cut it. So this is how I made the box. Then for the bottom, if you look here for the bottom, I just cut this exact lid that is over here that we cut the lizard in, but without the lizard, out of a 1/4 inch, and this is what I glued on the bottom. So that's how the bottom was made. And then for the top, if you look at my top over here, we have an 1/8 of an inch maple, an 1/8 of an inch padauk, and then a 1/4 inch maple. So there are 3 layers here. And for the lizard inlay, you can absolutely do a fill engrave and make a pocket like I did with the star that I showed you earlier and put the lizard in. But that takes a long, long time to, you know, go and empty all that material there. And for something like this, where we have multiple layers, it's not needed. We can just cut a lizard, cut it out of different material, and, you know, swap them up. So the way the lid will go is, let's see. So for the lid, I took a maple and padauk. I cut the lizard shape out of the maple, and then I cut a lizard out of the padauk and just put it inside. Let's see if I can do this. Just like this. And I didn't do an offset or anything. I find that it works perfectly. The little space that is in between is just enough for the glue. You see that? And then you sand it down. So that's how I did the inlay, was just cut the lizard from one material, cut a hole in a different material, sandwich them together and glue them. And then the lid, you see, also has the 1/4 inch maple, and that's just to create this rabbit look so the box can sit on top of my box, you know, so it sits like this inside of the box. And that's what that bottom and the design that we created, that's what the bottom part was, a smaller rectangle. That's the part that goes in there. You can also use it as a bottom. If you do not want to see this line in here, you can use the smaller one, and that will fit exactly in the inside, and you can glue it like that. And that way you do not have this line like this. And just like that, you can create some fine woodworking with the laser, and nobody will have no idea that you've done it with the laser. You don't see any of the burn marks, and everything is done so, so nicely. Now, if you're wondering about these materials that I'm using, I buy my boards all on Amazon. And they come in pack of 2s like this. I will leave them in the description below. This is the 1/4 inch. And I buy walnut, I buy maple, I buy padauk. This is the 1/8 inch. There are 2 planks sealed in this plastic. And they're very affordable. It's so much easier than having to mill my own lumber, but I buy them like this. I'll put the link in the description below. And don't forget, if you decide to buy Longer B13 30-watt laser, please use the code in the description below. Now, as you can see, I absolutely love my Longer B13 30-watt laser engraver, and I think you would like it too. If you already have a 10-watt or a 20-watt laser engraver, this would be a great upgrade. If you do not have a laser and you're just planning on buying one, well, this is the best 30-watt laser you can buy right now for under $1,000. So it's a great, great deal, and I cannot recommend it enough. That's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Skylar Ewing, and I'll see you in my next video.